Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present our spectacular show of podcast magic and imagination full of Disney wonder, news, and pop culture. It's the Main Street Electrical Podcast with Jenn Dave and David Dollar.
For the 200th time, hi, Jen.
Hi, Dave.
Well, technically, it's not 200. You and I have missed an episode here or there, so I guess it's like one for the 196th for you. I don't know, whatever.
Something
but it's
like
episode
that.
200. Welcome to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. We did it. We made it to 200.
That's amazing.
I know,
and
right?
scary.
I'm pretty excited. Well, it's also exciting for me that your previous podcast, or your current and previous podcast, this when we started our podcast here, you were like an episode 90 or 100 or whatever.
No, we're
and
like
now,
100 and something. But...
And now you're at like 200.
Or
maybe
200. We're
200,
at 200.
And we're 200. It's exciting.
We release about every, month and a half at this
That's
point.
okay. A month and a half, 6 months. It's okay. It's all right. So also joining us on this very special episode, like, Silver Spoons or Punky Brewster. It's a very special episode. Fan favorite, friend of the show, Derek Frank. Hey, Derek.
How's it going?
Welcome to the show. And of course, we love our Moana Mom, aka Heather, Quasi-Producer Heather, who has been a part of the show basically since it began, just always behind the scenes, putting us stuff on YouTube and reaching out. Hey, you should do this on the show. You should always throwing your insight in there, which is really great. So hi, Heather. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
And
happy 200.
Happy 200. We will start with you, Heather. How did you Disney this week?
Am I not allowed to say that I went to Epcot to get my salad? Am I? Can I just use
you can
that?
Say it. You can use that.
Because
you go every week to get your salad.
Every week. I had a rough Monday, so I went down and I got my salad at Connections. It is perfect, and I even have Jessica hooked on it now. She didn't believe me, and then she sent me this giant apology about how she was wrong. It is the greatest thing she's ever eaten.
That's awesome. It's funny to me that you can just drop into, like, I can go to Chick-fil-A whenever I want. And it takes me 20 minutes to get over there and get lunch and come back. And maybe it takes you a little longer than 20 to get in there, but just hop in, grab lunch and leave. And it's just, it's crazy to me that you can do that. I'm like, I want to move to Florida. And Stephanie,
Do you do
like,
mobile
no,
order or do you just go stand in line?
I just go stand in line because nobody's like there in the middle of the week. It's great.
Derek, how did you Disney this week?
I booked my next Disney/Star Wars tattoo.
Oh,
Nice.
I thought I was going to say trip. So
I did.
My most recent one is Darth Donald Duck.
Mm-hmm.
And my next one is going to be, drum roll, Darth Vader Mickey Mouse.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm doing a whole scene. Like Disney did a toy line with the main Disney characters as Star Wars characters. The question is, maybe you guys can help me. Goofy appeared as both Cad Bane, who I love, and Jar Jar Binks. Who do I get?
Well,
remember, like, I'm all dark side, but I think Jar Jar is the Sith Lord. So.
The answer really is, could you see anybody else being Jar Jar? Because I feel like you're going to have Jar Jar representation on your tat somewhere. So if not Goofy, then who? That's the question. So if you can think ahead going, you know what, if I don't do Goofy, I might do this character later. That works. Same thing with Cad Bane. Think ahead of, if I don't do Goofy as Cad Bane, what would I do Goofy as? And kind of compare the two of which would work better. And whichever one that Goofy's your only answer.
I don't know. I feel like the answer is Jar Jar.
That's the one you go with.
Unless Pluto is Jar Jar.
I can see an argument for that.
I have a friend of mine that somehow procured a Funko Pop that's General Grievous and Jar Jar combined together. It's bizarre, but it's really cool. It's like a Funko mashup. It's very strange. So Jen, how did you Disney this
about
week?
that? I Disney by wearing. I am currently wearing my Mary Poppins. Is it over here? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's the penguin. It says London.
Nice.
And on the back, it's got practically perfect in every way. It's my Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, the
party.
winner of the Magical Movie Madness 2024 tournament this
As
year.
is appropriate.
Yes.
As is
A
appropriate.
decisive victory, by the way. It wasn't a close victory. She won by a couple of dozen votes. It was
Because it's one of the best movies of all time.
yes.
That's all.
Yes. And
That's
I am Disneying by wearing my brand new Ratatouille shirt.
Oh,
It's got the recipe for
nice.
ratatouille on the back. So if you're standing behind me in line and have your pen and paper with you, you can jot down the recipe to make your own ratatouille.
I mean, or you could take a picture of your back.
Well, that too. I mean, I don't. That might be weird for some people, but for me, I'd be like, ah, sure, whatever.
I've got a lot of those at home already.
Yeah, I got this at Epcot last time I was there. It's the first time I've actually worn this shirt, so I wore it for the show. But I'm very proud of my Ratatouille shirt. Which Ratatouille is something we will talk about in just a moment, because for episode 200, we are going to find the best attraction at Disney World. Now, it'd be easy for all of us to start tossing things out. Like I might say Guardians, and Heather might say Guardians or Tron, and Derek might be like, no, Jungle Cruise, and Jen would say it's tough to be a bug. So we're going to talk about all of those.
Absolutely not.
Off the cuff here. But Derek sent us a made up and sent us a bracket a couple weeks ago. He was like, "Here's 64 attractions in a bracket. Here you go. I made this for you guys. It is literally
gorgeous.
Whatever, and it's fantastic. It's got like little icons on it and everything. And I was in the middle of my movie tournament on my platforms, and I was traveling, and Kyla was also traveling as well.
And I was traveling.
And Jen was traveling. And we kind of worked together on the Upon a Star. And I'm like, well, should we do this in the Upon a Star page? And I don't really know. And it just time went by. We didn't do anything with it. And I thought, this would be perfect for episode 200. To bring together some of our favorite people. Of course, Kyla's not here, but brings together some of our favorite people and talk about the best attraction at Disney World. Yeah. So we're going to kind of go through this one by one, all the way through until we get to the best. Now, we're going to shoot through the first round fairly quickly because it's a large tournament. We've got 64 attractions here, attractions, shows, and things like that. So I want to kick off because I feel like Magic Kingdom is going to be the hardest. I'm going to kick off with Animal Kingdom. We'll just go around the room. Some of these will be fairly easily. You've got the first matchup here, Flights of Passage versus Up, the Great British Adventure. Is there anybody that's going to say Up over Flights of Passage? Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, I like Up,
no.
But yeah.
I mean, Up is great. It's fine.
And I think they changed it back to just regular bird. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Flights of Wonder. Flights of Wonder is
I think
better.
it's back to Flights of Wonder. Yeah.
Everything does not have to have have character in it. Finding Nemo and the Triceratops spin.
I mean, is anybody voting Triceratops?
I don't know. No, we have to throw it out there. We have to mention it. Somebody at home might be like, no, I love the tri-spin, but yeah, Finding Nemo, moving on. Kilimanjaro Safari and the Boneyard. I would say Kilimanjaro Safari on this.
I think we're all going to go Safari on that one.
Safari. I should have really printed this out, typing them up as we go. Safari. Our next matchup here, we've got the Festival of the Lion King and Animation Experience. I mean, I like the animation experience. I think it's cool, but Lion King.
I mean, I think Festival of the Lion King's got to win that one.
Of course, hands down.
Now, here comes an interesting one. Two attractions that I don't do a whole lot with. The Kali River Rapids and the Maharaja Jungle Trek.
You see, I'm going Maharaja Jungle Trek on this one.
Same.
Yeah, I would go that too, because I'm just not a fan of Kali River Rapids. However, Heather, you've been kind of quiet on any of this.
Yeah.
So any thoughts on any of these?
I like Kali River Rapids, but I mean, the thought of being wet, soaking wet all day in Animal Kingdom, and walking all those trails, no. So we'll just say no.
Wet socks and shoes,
it brings to mind the word chafe, and the word chafe is not good in any context at Disney World. Chafe does not work, and I don't like to chafe anywhere.
Have Gold Bond sponsor this podcast.
I could do that. Right? Gold Bond medicated powder. And do we'll have the sprinkle and stuff.
Body Glide.
That's for the Patreon. That's after dark. All right. So the Navi River Journey and the Gorilla Falls Trail. I mean, I might go Navi River Journey. It's a silly little attraction, but I kind of like it. It's not one I do all the time, but
maybe as on Let's Be Frank, we had the discussion. Not if you're waiting more than 20 minutes.
True, very true.
Fine for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going Navi. I love the gorillas, but that documentary they did on Disney Plus where the one got put down so much. So
don't.
No, I can't.
Way to bring the show down, Derek.
In the beginning,
really love those gorillas. Okay.
I mean,
so the boys here both said Navi. Jen, Heather, are you going Navi as well? Are you going to go with Gorilla Falls?
I'm going Navi.
I'm going Navi.
Navi.
Yeah, I'm going Navi.
Navi River Journey. There we go.
Yeah, I'm going Navi.
All right. So dinosaur, and it's tough to be a bug.
I mean, clearly the answer is dinosaur, although
it's dinosaur, but I love seeing kids cry.
Yes. That's the one reason that I don't want them to change it, because I love how kids are terrified.
I was in that attraction a week ago, and you can always tell the first timers, because especially like the tweens and the young girls, whatever, they're all screaming and stuff. But the kids, there were kids that were crying in there. I saw a mom have to take a kid out and everything, and I'm like, this is probably why Disney's changing it. Meanwhile, my kid's on his iPod just listening to music, just like, whatever. I don't care. It's really funny. But you know when to lean up and you know when to hold your breath and just,
Oh, it's
subtract.
awful.
You have to be prepared for it.
Love it.
Expedition Everest and the Conservation Station again.
I mean-
Conservation Station is great, but Everest. I mean,
Everest.
We're gonna
Everest.
do something different with Conservation Station.
Yeah, I think so.
Make it
Yeah,
Zootopia.
it's time.
So let's
Oh,
do this.
Zootopia would be good.
Mhm.
Let's hang out in Animal Kingdom for just a little while longer. Let's get down to the 2 attractions in Animal Kingdom before we go to the next park, and then we'll kind of
right.
get down to our final 8. So we'll hop back up here.
Okay.
Flights of Passage and the Finding Nemo Beyond the Big Blue. If this were the original Finding Nemo show, I would have a much stronger argument on Finding Nemo, but because it's not
No, you wouldn't.
Flights of Passage. Flights of
No,
Passage.
The answer is
love-
Flight of Passage.
Flight of
I love
Passage.
Nemo, but Flights of
Same.
Passage. I mean, on my bracket, well,
I mean, it's such there is just nothing like that one. The first time on that ride, you're just
Mhm.
mind blown.
Blown away.
Kilimanjaro Safari versus the Festival of the Lion King.
Oh, Safari.
Safari. I would go Safari as well.
same.
Heather, I can't tell
Oh,
your reaction.
Heather.
Your reaction to that. I'm not really sure which one which way you were leaning.
I love the safari, but Callista's adoption song
Oh,
is the
that's
Lion King theme.
true.
So I'm gonna have to say Lion King just because every time I go into
I-
that park, I sometimes will skip the safari, but I do not skip that show.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's fair.
So
And the
Derek,
girl
do
at
you
the
wanna-
end, she takes you to church. Oh,
You want
I
to
love it.
make a tie or prevent the tie? Which are this all
Wait,
on you,
wait,
buddy.
how is this a tie?
Well, because you and I have done
Yeah.
Lion Safari, and she's done Lion King. So if Derek goes Lion King, we have a tie. We
Oh.
have 2-2.
Well, my brother did get picked once for the Lion King because he was wearing his Iraqi freedom hat from when he was
Oh,
deployed. But I'm sorry, the Safari has to win.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Safari it is. Safari it is. Maharaja Jungle Trek. It's like basketball. It's one of those like low-seeded teams that got an upset victory over a higher-seeded team against the Navi River Journey. Not a great team, but I'm going to go Navi on this. So, which I will lose in the next round because whichever one it faces off
Yeah.
against, which is Dinosaur versus Everest. Dinosaur versus Everest.
I mean, that's got to be
Go
Everest.
Everest.
Yeah, I'm an Everest fan all over. Heather.
Heather, she's quiet.
We all know I don't ride Everest unless my kids beg me to do it. The backwards thing throws me for a loop, but
It's so
it's a
great,
great
though.
attraction. I mean, my kids. I'll say Everest, but
All right, so let's get down to our Animal Kingdom finals. Flights of Passage versus the Kilimanjaro Safari. Which one is a better attraction? Heather, why don't you open up this little discussion first? Because you've been the quiet one through a lot of these. So I want to hear your thoughts before any of us say anything to influence
She's
your
not going to be
decision.
quiet at Magic Kingdom.
No.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I
I
won't
know.
be quiet at Magic Kingdom. That's why
She
it's
won't
the
be quiet
hardest.
now. I'm just giving her a chance
It's the
to talk.
best park. I'm going to say a Flight of Passage, just because the Imagineering that went into that attraction, like through the whole walkthrough, the ride, everything. Every time someone's getting off that ride, they're always just like, "Oh my gosh, that was amazing!" Plus,
Mhm.
being that giant IMAX screen, they have the option to like update it like in the future.
Yes.
So
which I
it
think
can
they will.
always
But they have the
change.
option.
Yeah.
Yes.
they do have the option.
They're running out of glasses for it.
Right.
That's the problem they're having right now.
Wait,
Really?
literally?
Yeah. They ordered so many of those glasses, and that
Mhm.
company won't make them anymore.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
that
why
is
people
interesting.
are reporting that they're having issues seeing. It's not because of the screen. It's because of what glasses you get. If they've been cleaned too many times and put back in rotation,
Mhm.
they're scratched up and it's harder to see.
And we know those glasses are only used
Oh.
once before they're sent off to clean. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, maybe they should swap them around. Put some Toy Story glasses in there, and we'll see what it looks like
I
through the
don't know.
lens of Toy Story Mania. Why not? Why not?
Tough to be a bug.
So, what are they gonna the bug glasses and Everest? Just paint them blue, and
No.
it's perfect.
No. No.
Derek, we've got one vote for Flights of Passage. Your thoughts on
Hands down, Flights of Passage. All day, every day. It's my top ride.
Jen?
I mean, it's got to be Flight of Passage. I love that. And I understand that Safari was first and it's kind of like a staple, but we got to go with Flight of Passage.
Not to be a contrarian, and not that it matters, because in 3 weeks, nobody will remember that this was a 4-0 or 3-1. But I would say Safari, just to put Safari on the board, because what Heather said, the Imagineering on this one, on Safari, is also pretty
Mm,
amazing.
it is.
What they've
That is
done
accurate.
in terms of like just the barriers to keep the animals from wandering around that you can't see are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, everything from the stories they're telling, even with the whole symbol one poaching thing, to the story they have now, the fake baobab tree and the fake anthills. I mean, just the engineering in this thing is also not nearly as apparent, but very, very cool. But Flights of Passage, I mean, I will definitely give it that. So Flights of Passage into the Animal Kingdom finals, which brings us to Nava River Journey and Everest. I think Navi has run its course. It's slipped in somehow, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Everest.
the answer is
All
Everest.
right. So we'll get back to Flights of Passage versus Everest in just a few minutes. Let's jump now down to Hollywood Studios.
Ooh, okay.
Now, Jen, you're going to have trouble with this one, just right off the top here. Rise of the Resistance versus the Disney Junior Dance Party. And I want you, before you blurt out Disney Junior, I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it first. Okay. I'm just saying.
No
Fancy
thoughts
Nancy can
required.
only get you so long, okay? Come on.
I don't know what that means.
I know. I'm like, I have no use for that attraction. Literally. Ever.
That or the only use I have for it is that it's taking little kids away from me.
My kids never actually been in it.
All right,
We never went to see that. Heather, did your girls
That's
go
fair.
to
Let's be
ever go to
frank.
it?
This is the reason it has to exist. That and the
I
Lightning
think-
McQueen thing.
I think Kylie went to it once. Callista's never been to it. No. I
mean,
mean,
I went to it once or twice just to see it, but I felt really creepy standing in the back by myself. Like, I shouldn't be here. I should.
let me
borrow a
tell you
child's.
where we would watch it. Imagine if they put it and it was Muppet Babies and Fraggle Rock in there.
Oh, now that's a different
That
story.
place-
That
I'm here
I'll go
for
see.
it.
That's
I'm here.
absolutely 100%.
Muppet Babies and Fraggle. That'd be awesome.
I know.
That'd be fantastic. I would be all about that. Speaking of Muppets,
Muppet Babies.
Muppet Vision 3D and Star Tours.
Star Tours.
Star Tours. Interesting.
And
I
they just
might go
another
Muppet Vision
update.
3D on this one. I love Muppet Vision 3D. I kind of love the fact they haven't
I kind
updated
of love
the movie.
both.
It's so
This one's hard.
vintage.
It comes down to the seats. Like if you look at the seats in Muppet Vision and you
They've been
realize
redone.
how
They
filthy
redid them.
They redid them.
They redid
They're
them.
new.
Oh, well, it's still burned up here that they did. Because they were filthy.
Because they
I'm
were
gonna say-
filthy. Because I sat down in them this last time. I was like,
Mhm.
these seats are different.
They're-
and
they're
it was
new.
like,
Yeah,
they're
the-
much
this-
better.
And I think honestly, the fact that Sweetums comes out at the end of every single show is an untapped gem in that. Like people never talk about Sweetums. He comes out
I
in
love
every
Sweetums.
single production or every single showing in Muppet Vision 3D like 15 or 20 times a day. It's amazing, or more than that. It's amazing.
Right, more than that.
We should have more Sweetums in the park. So I'm saying Muppet Vision 3D. Derek's got Star Tours. Heather, what is your take on Star Tours versus Muppet Vision 3D?
I'm saying Star Tours because you get a different story depending on when you ride it.
And Jen?
This one, I will say I struggle with this one because I do love Muppets, but if I'm going with just like quality of ride, I mean, it's got to be Star Tours. Like, it's got to win.
Star
that
Tours
one.
it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna like I said, we're going through these pretty fast in the first
I mean,
round. So
sorry,
I'm not
Derek, that's
fight
gonna
too
lose
much.
to other
That's
things.
okay. It's
so.
all right. It's all right. I'll put up a fight elsewhere. Tower of Terror taking on Beauty and the Beast live. I've seen the stage show once. I
It's
mean,
the worst show at Disney.
it's not great to
The
me.
The Tower of
It's
Terror
not-
is the very clear winner here. I
Now
hope
Heather
we
may
can
say Beauty,
all-
but it's a loss here.
I don't
so-
know. Did you ride this one, Heather?
What?
Tower.
Tower of
Do you
Terror.
ride Tower?
No, I love Tower.
Okay.
I love Tower. I don't
Well, you
know.
had
I'm not
you had that look of like you're just discounting Beauty, and so I
Beauty
wasn't
and the
sure.
Beast is like a very Jen's gonna kill me. It's a very overrated film. I feel like I don't know.
No, I identified with Belle as a child.
I'm tired.
See, triggered.
See? You listen. I won't.
No.
I said that.
Oh wait, hold on.
Jasmine.
Jen, why did you text me? Don't tell her I said this. Moana is also completely overrated.
It is not.
I mean, it's interesting. Okay, interesting take, Jen. Good
Wow.
job. Good shot there.
Wow. If
Um,
everybody out there believes you, David, seriously.
Millennium Falcon Smugglers 1 taking on Indiana Jones Stunt Show.
Oh, smugglers.
Smuggler's Run.
Smugglers Run.
As
Me?
long as you're not an engineer.
That is the worst position.
Right.
I mean,
It
even
is.
the gunner is like more fun. Although
Well, that's where they put.
I will say
that's where
I
they put standbys and the
successfully
single riders. If you're a
unlocked
single
Chewie.
rider, you get that. So, a Rock and Roller Coaster and Frozen Sing Along. I'm gonna go Frozen Sing Along. I love the Frozen Sing Along.
I do
do.
too.
I think Rock and Roller Coaster is completely overrated. It's not. I mean, it's an okay coaster. It's not my favorite of the parks. I love Frozen Sing Along.
I'm biased because of my experience with, with one of the stars. So
Right.
See, I'm over here going rock and roller coaster.
yeah.
So we
What
got
do we
a tie.
It's a
we're at a
tie.
tie. So Derek, you're saying Rock and Roller Coaster?
I am saying Rock
Okay.
and Roller Coaster.
So we're gonna put a pin in that one. We're gonna come back to it.
Okay.
We'll circle back to this in a few minutes. All right. So Runaway Railway, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. I mean, Mickey Minnie. Come on.
Are we? Is there any argument? On
I
that?
love that attraction.
Yeah.
What Lightning
Okay.
McQueen's Racing Academy? I mean, it's okay.
What?
I-
Racing
I've-
Academy? No. I love Mickey and Minnie.
Racing Academy's cute and like they put a lot of cool tech, but it's just so hokey.
Right.
It's too much cheese.
No.
Yeah, it's fun for the kids. My kid was fascinated whenever he was into his Cars 2 phase. Toy Story Mania, Alien Swirling Saucers. I mean, I love Mania. It's one of my favorite attractions in the park. Saucers are good when you have the DAS pass and you're trying to kill time until Slinky Dog. You go do
Okay,
saucers.
that would
yep.
be the time to use that.
Yep.
That line is blazing hot sun. I'm
Yes.
just pointing that out.
Yeah. Slinky Dog Dash and One Man's Dream. See, this is an unfair.
That one's
Oh,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
That's
I mean,
bad, Derek.
I would go Slinky Dog because it's a better attraction, but still, everybody should see One Man's Dream. It's
Everybody
just not
should see
even-
One Man's Dream.
It's yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
if you're just picking thrills, you got to go with Slinky.
Would you have Slinky if one man didn't have a dream?
And that's true.
yeah, Derek.
Yes, you
You
would.
didn't think of that, did you?
Because it's Pixar.
Jerk. All right.
I was there without
Jen,
you.
remind me how to punch somebody out of a room. All right, so let's circle back to this Rock and Roller Coaster Frozen Sing Along. The winner is going to take on the Mickey Minnie Runaway Railway. So I feel like either one of these might lose in the next round. But what do we put through the first round to the next round? I love the Frozen Sing Along. I'm willing to bend to Rock and Roller Coaster just for this purpose. Again, but I love Frozen.
I'm willing to bend to Frozen because of the snow.
Perfect. So Frozen it is. Frozen moves
Okay.
on. All right.
All right.
All right. Now, so let's
Sorry,
look over here.
And
Steven.
because I
Rise of-
can belt at the top of my lungs and it doesn't matter.
Yes. Where
Rise
else
of
do you
the
get to
Resistance.
sing?
I just did.
And Star Tours. Rise and Star Tours.
I
I got to go
Rise.
with Rise.
Oh,
It's
gotta go
that
with
is an
Rise.
engineering marvel as well. That's an
It's
amazing
amazing.
ride.
yeah.
So, Resistance. Tower of Terror taking on Smuggler's Run. I'm a
I'm
Tower
gonna
of
say
Tower of
Terror.
Smuggler's
Terror.
Run because I cry every time I see the Millennium Falcon. But I,
I mean,
also
that's-
covered in Star Wars tattoos. So
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference though in seeing the Falcon and actually going in and riding the ride.
That's true.
Mhm.
To me, the
No, there's
experience of
not.
seeing the Falcon is
Derek
better
said
than the
no.
ride itself.
Mhm.
doesn't matter.
The ride's okay. It's not my favorite. It's okay. So, I would go
The-
Tower over this.
To me,
Tower.
the marvel of that ride, though, the fact that it didn't work
Mhm.
3 days before it opened
Mhm.
is amazing to me. Like what
Right.
they did
Mhm.
and the theming. I walk in there, I feel like I'm in the Falcon and I cry.
Mhm.
I love it. And
My best guess is they called somebody at Universal and was like, "Hey, send your guys over that build attractions in 2 days and put them up, and then take them
Yeah,
down a
but-
week later."
No,
Send
but
those
the
guys
thing is,
over.
but then the Falcon wouldn't work
That's very true.
9%
That
of the
is very
true.
time.
I
if
do
that's
believe
the
that those
case.
Universal engineers are the ones that did the guns and Rise of the Resistance that no longer move. Probably
Mhm.
those guys.
Oh, now that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
might
probably
be
those guys,
possible.
so-
And the
So
Yeti.
I've gone Tower, and I think Heather went Tower.
Mhm.
Derek has gone Smuggler's Run. Jen, it's on you. It is on you, and this is a second round.
Yeah,
round
I'm
here.
sorry, Derek, but Tower is my favorite ride. So it's kind of like
Hey,
Poppins
I
has to
respect it.
win. Tower has to win. So
I
Good
respect
call,
it.
Joe.
I respect
Yeah.
it.
Frozen Sing Along taking on Mickey Minnie Runaway Railway. I think Mickey Minnie likely would
Mhm.
win
I mean,
this.
Mickey and
So,
Minnie.
Mickey
yeah.
and Minnie.
Yeah,
Let's do
Mickey
it.
and
Mickey
Minnie.
Minnie.
That's the win.
Mickey
Yeah.
Minnie. All right. And
Yeah.
now Toy Story Mania versus Slinky Dog Dash. And this is interesting for me because this is where the kid part
Ah.
comes in that Heather has mentioned a couple of times because Campbell, one of his favorite rides is Slinky Dog Dash. He's had great magical moments on that coaster with cast members letting him do it over and over. We are both big fans of Toy Story Mania. He actually, no joke, the last time he only got 40,000 points. He had a 65% accuracy. So he was actually aiming for things.
What?
Oh, I
He was
love
like,
this.
my accuracy is like 27% consistently, and he was
Yes.
aiming, and he low score, but he got stuff. I was so proud of him.
I don't think I've ever had more than 22% accuracy. Like
So,
over
Jen,
speed.
Toy Story Mania versus Slinky Dog Dash. What is the better attraction?
You know, I think I'm going to give it to Slinky because of the singing penguin at the end.
Okay.
He's not
that-
singing right now.
Why
Squeaky is not singing right now.
is Squeaky not singing? He was
Was
singing
he
in
not
the middle
singing?
of
I feel like he
March.
was singing when I
He
went
was
last week.
singing
A
in
month
the
ago,
Oh,
I
was he?
there.
Yeah, like about 10 days ago he was. He may
That-
not be singing now. but-
Okay, and that and the little Slinky voice of like, por favor, and he's doing it. And then
Hold on to your kids. That's awesome.
And it's just hilarious. I'm with my friend who's fluent in Spanish. Like, she grew up speaking Spanish, and she's cracking up at the accent of Slinky doing it. So it's so funny.
So Slinky Dog Dash, Derek.
Slinky Dog Dash at night.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
better.
that tips at the
Yes.
scale too. Slinky Dog
That
Dash.
is.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
for
it
sure.
win.
It's
sure.
such a fun attraction. Doing the day, watching it at night is
Yeah.
great. So Slinky Dog Dash moves on. So now let's get to our final two here at Hollywood Studios: Rise of the Resistance versus Tower of Terror. Heather, what are your thoughts on Rise versus Tower? Both Imagineering marvels, honestly.
Both Imagineering marvels, but Tower. I love my scary stuff.
No,
Look at this.
This is
absolutely not.
Nope. I'm going Tower.
this is apples and oranges. This is the
So
problem.
Derek's going to go Rise, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
So now
because-
those are the first two rounds. This is going into the quarterfinals
This
here.
is
This is
gonna
where
be
Derek
hard.
gets
This
serious.
is-
Derek's like, you know
yeah.
what? I've given you these over here, but so Jen, tell me what you're thinking. Rise.
I
versus
told you
Tower.
this is where it's my favorite ride. So like there's nothing I can do about it. I have to go Tower. It's like Poppins will always win. It doesn't matter how good the other movie is. Like Poppins always going to win a movie tournament.
Mhm.
I can't I will absolutely see the argument for Rise, but I can't not vote for Tower because it is
That's
my
a
favorite.
good thing that this is the last time I'm a guest on this podcast. I see where you stand now.
Derek's going to send us. He's going to send us a bracket for the Fun Spot attractions and be like, I dare you guys.
Gatorland.
Yeah, for Gatorland.
I'll never make a bracket for you again.
I'm Imagineering wise, I would lean Rise because of all the elements that are in that attraction,
Okay.
and I love the fact that it tells a story for it's a story. You are in a
Yeah.
movie for 20 minutes. However, I'm a classic guy too, and I love Tower, and I do, and I think we're talking about better attractions. I think Tower is more accessible to everybody. I think it's a shorter ride. I think the story is still just as effective and just as good. And I think there are more thrills in Tower, even if it's a shorter amount of thrills. And I like the photo taken in Tower more than I do in Rise. And so
Is there
Yeah,
a
I'm
photo
gonna
in
go-
Rise?
there's not. And that's why I like the
Oh!
Tower photo better.
Like what?
I have plenty of photos in Rise.
So
Lots
I'm
of
going to
them.
go
Of
Tower of Terror
selfies.
on this one. Derek, I'll make it up to you. I promise. The Tower of Terror advances.
I'm going to demolish all of Magic Kingdom.
All right. So
It is the last time he's on the show.
He's
Here we
like,
Mickey Minnie Runaway Railway taking on Slinky Dog Dash. Derek, I'm going to give you first dibs on this one.
I feel like my
Yeah.
life is a lie right now. I'm gonna go railway.
Come on, Martyr.
I'm gonna go railway.
I think I would too. I love Slinky Dog, but I love the fact
Yeah.
that Mickey has his own. I mean, in some respects, I mean, like Mickey's PhilharMagic is called Mickey's PhilharMagic, but that's Donald Duck's ride attraction, which I love.
yeah,
and
I
we'll
mean,
get to
he's
that
in
a
it,
minute.
but it's, yeah.
I would go Mickey on this one, and I hate
go Mickey.
being a 4-0 slam against Slinky, but yeah, Mickey Minnie. All right, so that is our final four for Hollywood Studios. Let's jump over to Epcot now. Knock out
The
this first
best
round here.
park.
It's a good park. It's a
Agreed.
good park.
Hey,
Good
Heather, you said it's
salad.
got the best salad.
Mhm.
The best
The
park.
best park. Absolutely
right.
the best park.
So
Crazy.
Soren taking on Journey into Imagination. So Soren, Patrick, you got Putty versus Figment. Jen, what are you thinking on this one?
Oh, this one's hard because I love me Figgy, but here's the problem: the current iteration of
Mhm.
Figgy.
That's
Yes.
it.
The problem is it is the current version of Figment is
Mhm.
not what it's supposed to be. So we got to go Soren.
Yeah. So sidebar, and this is a little mini rant, whatever, and maybe Heather can speak to this too because she talks to Josh weekly. I don't understand why they don't have, like, if they were to come out and say we're redoing the Figment ride, because no one likes it. It's an attraction that nobody likes.
No,
And
we
they
all like
pretty much they're
Figment.
finishing with Epcot, so it's not as if they need somewhere to put people. And I understand not doing certain things because you want to have people eaters, and that big
Mhm.
area of Epcot's being taken up. Once it's finished, I feel like it would be easy to say, you know what, $60 billion devoted to the parks. We're going to take $5 million and do a little to Figment, put more Figment in there, take out the creepy moon, do some stuff. Not even revamp the whole thing, just revamp some of it.
No,
And
put
I
the
think
Dream
people
Finder
would-
back in.
People would be
As
so
well.
happy about it.
Mhm.
I just I
It's
don't
not
understand
gonna
why.
happen because they're
yeah.
doing test track, so that's gonna take up. I mean, that's a massive crowd eater.
That's true.
It
That's
is.
true.
So they
That's
can't.
true.
It
And I'm
is.
afraid Communicore will not be the crowd eater they want it to be because I don't know
Yeah,
what there
probably
even is in
not.
Communicore besides the character spot. It's like I
and
don't
there's-
know. Anyway,
there's gonna be
so
a stage.
sidebar.
Yeah.
Sidebar. Soren, Journey. Did you pick Soren, Jen, over Journey?
Yes.
Okay. Heather?
Soren.
Yeah, I'll go Soren.
Yep.
Soren it is. All right. So next Grand Fiesta Tour versus Guardians. Unfair to Grand Fiesta Tour because it's a delightful little
Totally
ride. It's a fun little ride.
unfair,
It
but
should have been like Grand Fiesta Tour versus Living with the Land.
Whoa!
oh, that,
Whoa!
wait a second.
Whoa!
Well, here's the thing.
There is gonna be nothing left of Magic Kingdom when I'm done. I'm telling you right now. Those, I thought Tower of Terror was bad. That's the worst fighting words ever.
Living with the Land gets a
Land
shot
win this
here
whole thing.
because it takes on
Oh.
Canada Far and Wide, which I haven't even seen the new Canada Far and
Wait,
Wide.
are we
I'm just-
voting? Or wait, did we vote for the last one?
We all voted Guardians. It's the
Yeah,
dumbest thing
obviously. Okay,
I
so
had
living.
Guardians. I had Guardians typed up before we even moved on.
Well, right. Okay, Living with the Land is the clear winner between these
Yes,
two.
Canada Far
I
and
mean,
Wide, correct? Okay.
Living with
Spaceship
the
Earth
Land
America-
might take the whole thing if you want to ask me, but that's okay.
Well, we'll see. It's got a shot.
Oh,
based on
maybe
this
not, maybe
bracket.
not Guardian. Okay. Aside from
Spaceship Earth versus American Adventure. I mean, I love America, USA, but we love Spaceship Earth. We all love
Spaceship Earth. Dame Judi Dench all day long.
Yes.
Although American Adventure is the best nap in all the parks.
It is.
Air
The
conditioned.
coolest
nothing-
place.
There's nothing more American than sleeping through history class. So yes. Moana Journey of Water versus Turtle Talk. I love Turtle Talk. I think it's so much fun. But I mean Moana. It's
Journey of Water at night.
yes. I haven't seen it at night yet.
Ooh.
I haven't.
Beautiful.
Okay, so
It's
here's
so
my
good.
Heather,
No
here's my
one even
plan.
likes Moana, right? So like, let's get right off the list.
When I'm coming in from Jamaica on my May trip, I'm flying into
Mhm.
Orlando, and I have to stay the night because flights are just terrible that afternoon. So I'm going to fly home Saturday. So when I get in like 6:00, I'm immediately I'm dropping my luggage off. I'm staying at the airport. I'm immediately going to Epcot. Hopefully they're going to stay open like past 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm hoping they'll stay open later. And I'm immediately going to Epcot, and I'm actually going to do Moana Journey of Water. I'm catching an Uber and going there just to do that because I haven't done it at night.
And eating a salad. Can I
And
say
eating a
this?
salad at whatever, but yeah.
Mhm.
And then if I have time, I'm going to Magic Kingdom to do Jungle Cruise because I haven't done it literally in 3 trips, and I'm very sad about that. But this is only if the parks are open later. We'll see what time looks like. But anyway, Moana Journey of Water, Frozen Ever After taking on the Disney Pixar Film Fest. Why don't they rotate those movies? Why do
I
we
don't
have the
know.
same?
Why
3
is a Pixar
films?
Film Festival a thing? Is the
Why
question.
Because
did
they
we
don't-
bring?
Because
You
they don't want
know-
to have.
I can
they
watch it on
don't-
Disney Plus. I can,
Because
I
they're putting money
Why am I
elsewhere,
go-
which is fine.
unless I
but-
need a nap. Okay, unless you need a nap.
Just
That-
bring back Michael Jackson.
Honestly, for reals, for reals.
We were in Disneyland when they brought back Captain EO for like that short little thing. And
Mhm.
I was like back in my youth again. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my
Right.
gosh. And it's so cheesy. But
Yeah.
the fact that now all of us that were kids back in that day are now
Yes.
all the parents, you throw Captain EO in there, we will be in our glory.
I don't know. There's so much
Bring
about
back
Michael
the
Jackson.
merch.
I feel like them doing that would be like Universal doing like a Nickelodeon Dan Schneider
Oh,
kind of Renaissance
okay.
show or something.
Well, all
I-
right.
I, don't
Well,
think we would do
all
any
right.
of that.
okay,
Yeah, it's-
let's
that-
take that out of there.
No, you are
Jackson's
not
off
alone,
the table
David
for
Dollar.
Walt Disney
You
World.
are
I'm just
not
saying.
alone.
I'm just saying. The Seas with Nemo and Friends versus Mission Space.
Nemo.
This is one of those.
Nemo. Nobody wants to vomit.
The queue is so.
See, I don't mind
long
Mission
and
Space.
just-
I
I don't
can-
mind Mission Space at all.
Yeah, I like
It's-
Mission Space. I have no problem
Yeah.
with it. But Nemo, come on.
I'm gonna go Mission Space,
Big
Jen.
Blue world.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna break the tie here, and I'm gonna go with Nemo. Because I don't have a
Yeah,
Either
nobody cares.
direction.
about
When's
this
the
one.
last time you did it, Jen?
did which one?
Mission Space.
I did it this last trip with Maddie.
Just because there was people that haven't been there for a while.
Okay, accurate.
Okay.
I will say, going down the EAC, that the visual with the bubbles on the ceiling, as you that's pretty cool, but it didn't last very long. So finally, Test Track and Beauty and the Beast sing along, and we're talking about the current version of whatever attraction we're doing with. So Test Track versus Beauty and the Beast sing along, which I think is kind of wasted space, but
Mhm.
a test track.
Test
It's
track.
test track.
Yeah, test
Test
track.
track.
All right. Let's hop back up here to Soren taking Guardians of the Galaxy. This is hurtful because this is probably 2 top 10 attractions for me personally going head to head.
This is hurtful. I
When
will
we've got
agree.
Seas versus Nemo versus Test Track down here later on, I'm like, so Guardians. I mean,
It's Guardians.
I mean, it's gonna
it's
have
gotta
to
be
be
Guardians.
Guardians.
Now, when I was
Gotta be
making
Guardians.
this, I kept in mind that in the actual basketball brackets, not every bracket is created equally.
That's true.
No,
That's
it's
true.
So I'm sorry to break
Mm.
hearts because Epcot is my
Yeah.
favorite park because it is the best park.
I
Well,
mean, you're not
I've-
wrong about that.
I've seen the
You
Magic
are
Kingdom
accurate.
bracket, and
You
the Magic
are
Kingdom
wrong.
bracket is going to be brutal, even that first round. So we're getting to that. So Living with the Land taking on Spaceship Earth. This
Spaceship
is an
Earth.
interesting
This
little
one
run
also
here.
hurts me a little bit
Mhm.
because I love both. I gotta go Snooze Cruise.
I would go Living with the Land as well. I would.
You know I'm going with it.
So,
Oh gosh, guys in the snooze cruise. I don't
Oh,
get it.
dude, I love it.
I
It's
love them
great.
both.
And
I
here's
do
the
love them
thing.
both.
This is going to sound so fanboy, but I probably wasn't as big of a fan of this ride until I started hanging out with Kyla. She turned me into a fan of this attraction.
Kyla
And so-
drinks on that ride.
I have always
Kyla's
been a
drunk on
fan
that
of the
ride.
Snooze Cruise because, and then like during Christmas, whenever they like light everything up, it's
Mhm.
like so
Yeah.
Christmas is
perfect.
nice.
Yes.
And do the
Christmas
behind the
is
scenes
nice.
tour. The behind the scenes tour is
Oh,
incredible.
it's
I've done that.
great.
I did it last week. It was
It's
great. Or 2
so
weeks ago. It was great.
good.
Love it.
Mhm. I love it.
So Living with the Land moves on. Spaceship Earth has been unceremoniously bounced from this tournament.
Sorry, Dame Judy.
Moana, Journey of Water, taking on Frozen Ever After. I like the Frozen ride. I do. But I'm indifferent to this one. I feel like Moana for Heather's purpose, but we'll see what it looks like. Derek.
Frozen. Moana's already broken all the time. Can't get it. Like,
It
Now-
is
Sensors.
now.
Maelstrom
sensors
for
down.
life.
Jen, Frozen or Moana, Journey of Water?
I can really be swayed on this one, honestly. If this was the original Norway ride, that is clearly the answer.
Mhm.
Maelstrom
But
is
it's
the
not.
actual answer,
not.
but
This
I
is
mean,
not an attraction of rides that used to exist.
all right, I guess I'll go with Frozen, but I might sway my mind if there's a tie because I could go the other way.
I mean, if it's coming down between the two of them, which one are you like, oh my gosh, this is just such a good attraction? You're going to say Frozen. I don't have a problem, Derek, admitting that there's a better attraction, aka Tower of Terror. I'm just saying.
Frozen Ever After, it is. I'll go Frozen. I'll go Frozen on that. So Seas, Nemo and Friends, and Test Track. I would pick Test Track on this when
Mhm.
it works, which it mostly works, and hopefully they're fixing that
Yeah,
part. I'm looking
Test
forward
Track.
to what they're going to do to it. So,
Test
all right. So now our final 4: Guardians taking on Living with the Land. A
Guardians.
little hurtful here, but yeah, I got to go.
Hurts,
Guardians.
but it's gonna have to go
It
Guardians.
hurts, hurts me to my core, but
It
it's
hurts.
Guardians.
It hurts. Yeah.
And finally, we have Frozen Ever After taking on Test Track.
Test Track.
Derek?
Frozen.
Heather,
I'm gonna
knowing
go with
either one of these is going to lose against Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't matter. Test Track.
I'll go Test
Thank
Track.
you
just to
for
break the
reminding
tie,
me.
but yeah, it could have been either way. So Test Track it is. All right. So here we go. Here comes the money. As we are going to the Magic Kingdom bracket.
Oh,
Just
Now,
doing
some of
the
these I
opposite
feel like
of
won't be that difficult. Some of these will.
Those are gonna
Space
be
Mountain
hard.
versus the Mad Tea Party.
Space.
You know, I'm probably like Mad Tea Party better, but Space is fine. I feel like
Mhm.
it's a better attraction. Space Mountain it is. All right. Here we go. Jungle Cruise taking on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates.
Pirates.
Jen, you saying Pirates?
I'm saying Pirates. Listen, that chlorine water smell as soon as you walk in, hit its
Mhm.
perfection.
If not for the dad, if only for the dad joke part of it. I love the Jungle Cruise at night, especially. It's so
Well,
great.
at night it's much better.
The Jingle Cruise is fantastic. I love that. I
Mhm.
love just all of it.
Now
So
the after hours Jungle Cruise is really good because they turn all the lights off,
Mhm.
and they said some jokes that were not appropriate.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
was-
the late night skippers will really look at their audience and see who they've got and really have fun with that. So
Yeah, it was just my wife and I on the boat. so-
Oh, that's awesome.
But my wife and I were also the only ones on the ride for Pirates, and we
Mhm.
heard things we had never heard before. And we both agreed that if that ride had stopped, we were getting out. Like,
No.
so terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
So here's the thing. The winner of this one takes on Space Mountain. And either one of these to me will beat Space Mountain in my mind.
Correct.
Hands down.
For me. So
Probably,
we're
yes.
talking about an attraction that's going to move down into the tournament,
Mm.
not just like a first round, like a Navi, or it just happens to slip in there. So I'm going to say Jungle Cruise. We've got 2 pirates. Heather, what is your take on Jungle versus Pirates?
We all know that prior to Guardians, my favorite Disney attraction ever was Pirates in Shanghai. So I'm going with Dead Men Tell No Tale.
That's right.
I'm saying Pirates.
Pirates of the
Yes.
Caribbean it is. Pirates. All right. So Haunted Mansion versus Enchanted Tales with Belle. Enchanted Tales with Belle, not a knock on it. It's a great attraction.
Oh,
for
it's
families.
wonderful attraction.
It's wonderful for families. Haunted
Never-
Mansion is
Haunted
awesome.
Mansion is
Mhm.
the answer.
Haunted Mansion.
That's
Tron
clearly.
versus Dumbo. I love Dumbo.
Tron?
It's great, but Tron, how can you not pick Tron on this? Small World versus Carousel of Progress. This is the evil that
Oh.
Derek does because he's now putting Walt versus Walt.
Oh,
He's looking at Walt Disney the Man versus Walt Disney the Man, saying, "You know what? Fight it out," and it's just
oh
not
my
fair.
gosh.
I did this on purpose.
You did do this on purpose. I would say Carousel of Progress.
Mhm.
Out of the 2,
Yeah.
that's the one I
Yep.
enjoy the most.
Same.
Carousel.
Plus,
Carousel.
the voice is also the same narrator as the Christmas story.
Yes,
That's
Gene
true.
Shepard.
So
Gene Shepard.
watch
That's
it and
true.
not think of the Christmas
Yep.
story now.
And also the author of the book
Mm.
A Christmas Story, Gene Shepard.
Love
So
that.
Big Thunder Mountain taking on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
I mean, Big
2
Thunder.
attractions that
is
are fun,
Thunder.
but yeah, Big Thunder on this.
Big Thunder.
Buzz Lightyear always need to be cleaned. It's always
Dude,
dirty.
I hate that queue so much. It's awful.
It's a
People Mover
Mover
taking
queue.
on the Enchanted Tiki Room. I love.
Oh,
the
this
People
one
Mover.
also hurts.
I love the People Mover so much.
People Mover.
People Mover has to win, but I do love me the Tiki Room.
And finally, this one's kind of tougher. 7 Dwarfs Mine Train versus Peter Pan's Flight. Now, here's where it gets tricky for me because I have a kid who loves 7 Dwarfs Mine Train. I have a wife who loves Peter Pan's Flight. Which one of the 2 do I love more? I guess it depends on the day. I'm not really sure. But for me, I would go 7 Dwarfs Mine Train as a better attraction.
Mm.
But I can be swayed if we're talking. I mean, for whatever argument we're putting together. Heather, what is your take on Peter Pan versus 7 Dwarfs Mine Train?
I do love Seven Dwarfs, but I feel like Peter Pan, it's the classic. We need it. Like, so it needs to move forward in the bracket. It just
I mean, but Dumbo is also a classic. We just discarded it for Tron like that. So I mean,
Yeah,
This
but that
is
wasn't even
true.
close.
but I don't know if you would have had Tron versus Peter Pan, like would you still have picked Tron?
I mean, and that can happen. Honestly, we just have to get to it.
I'm saying Peter Pan.
So what? Do we just have one vote so far?
One vote for each so far.
I'm going Peter Pan.
Derek.
Let's be frank. Peter Pan is only good if it's less than 20 minutes.
Oh, correct.
So,
Absolutely.
But by that reasoning, though, that means it's never good. That's the problem.
Yeah, so I also ranted in my recent video where we did the after hours, and every time I've done an after hours, Peter Pan has been a walk-on, and they said it was a walk-on, and it was a 30-minute wait, and I was furious.
Right.
See, I will burn a genie pass on that.
And
I
that
will
is a
burn
long
a genie
queue.
pass.
That
on
is a
that.
long
for
queue.
a genie
It's-
pass or anything like that, but for like an after hours, wasting 30 minutes at an after hours when Tron was 25,
See, I would have been on Tron all day.
I don't complain very often. I complained.
Yeah.
So
So-
we're at a tie. And this one, however, I'm not going to budge. I think Seven Dwarfs is a better attraction than Peter Pan.
Agreed.
I do. So
Better
I-
queue, better everything.
so this one I can't come off of. So if we don't change our minds on this, we'll have to come back to it in just a minute. You know what? Maybe we should text Kyla and see what she thinks between the two. So here
I
we
know
go.
what
So-
she's going to say because she loves Peter Pan. So Peter
Mhm.
Pan would be her vote.
Mhm.
Whatever it is going to go against the People Mover.
Very true.
Oh, the People
Probably
Mover's
gonna pick the
The
winning.
People Movie's going to win. So whatever. Okay, you know what? Just I'll
Just
budge.
say Seven Dwarfs. It doesn't
Say
matter.
Seven Dwarfs because we don't care because that's
All right, here we go.
Mover wins.
Yes.
Good call. All right. So Space Mountain versus Pirates. Immediately I go Pirates on this. This
Pirates.
is
Pirates.
easier for Pirates for me
Pirates.
on this.
Absolutely.
Haunted Mansion versus Tron. Classic versus New School. I'm saying Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion.
I love Haunted Mansion.
It's got to be Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. You know what, Tron? Come back in about 25 to 30 years. And when we do this again
And-
on episode 840, and, we'll talk.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
Carousel of Progress taking on Big Thunder Mountain. An
Carousel.
interesting battle. here.
Carousel.
Really?
I
Really?
love Big Thunder Mountain so much.
And at night, it's
love it.
even better.
I love
But
I love them both,
Carousel-
and like I honestly, I'm of the take. I don't want Carousel to get updated. I want them to update
No.
the attraction.
no,
like,
no,
I
it
want
has
them
to stay exactly as
refurbish what they
is.
need to. But in
The end scene can change a little
2045,
bit.
when I'm waiting for the new eclipse in Disney World, I want to be in there looking at Granny. Oh, going to beat those suckers with a little thing in the whatever and the grand. I want to see all of that exactly the same.
I agree.
Maybe
Exactly
at
the
some
same.
time in the new century, your father will learn to
Exactly.
talk an hour of it.
So, I do love Big Thunder. Heather, Big Thunder versus Carousel.
Carousel.
Carousel. They got
Yes,
two carousels.
okay. I'm
Jen.
not mad at you anymore, Heather.
You know,
You
I'm
know
gonna say
what?
Big
Okay,
Thunder.
good.
I'm gonna say Big Thunder. Jen, you want to tie it up, or do you want to say Carousel and not?
You
put us
know
into
what?
this-
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go carousel on this one.
Yes. Yes, let's go.
People Mover versus Seven Dwarfs. Did we all just say People Mover instantly?
People
a minute
Mover.
ago?
That's
People Mover.
correct.
All right. So People Mover. So now we have Haunted Mansion versus Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, this
This
one's
hurt.
hard.
Now,
This one's
might be
hard.
the toughest battle so far because these are two amazing
God,
attractions,
dude.
historical attractions, legendary attractions. From
Mm.
you know what? I'm gonna give it to Jen first. Jen, talk it out. What do you think? Which one are you doing? Which one would you do first? Which one, if you could only do one for the next, say, 10 trips, you could not do the other. Which one are you picking? Which one's a
That's
better
not fair
attraction?
because I
Oh, that's
don't.
hurtful.
That really hurts. I mean, like, I know what Brady would pick, but I know what I would pick. So here's the thing. I actually think that the Pirates in Disneyland is far superior. And so
Mm.
that would be a different comparison for me than the
Right.
Disney World versions, because I actually think the Haunted Mansion in World is slightly superior to Land.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give this one to Mansion. I'm not mad either way with whichever one wins. Like, I'm not mad, but I'm going to go Mansion.
We got one mansion. Heather.
You know I'm saying mansion. I mean, hello, scary stuff.
For the mere fact, the last 3 times I've done Pirates, I've gotten wet from those stupid cannonballs. I'm gonna say Haunted Mansion as well. Derek, are
Say
you Haunted
Pirates so we
Mansion,
get some
or are you gonna say Pirates and
representation.
just
Can't say pirates.
you can
It's
say
Haunted-
Pirates if you want, but
It's Haunted Mansion.
Haunted
Okay.
Mansion.
So
Okay.
good.
All right.
Haunted
So
Mansion.
good.
So now we have Carousel of Progress taking on the People Mover, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority.
Oh,
And
It's
I'm
like
picking
choose-
People
it's like
Mover
choosing a child
because
How do you
there
do
are trips when I don't
know.
do
If you
Carousel
met
of
my brother,
Progress.
you know I'm superior.
There,
Sorry,
there
dude.
are trips when I don't do Carousel of Progress. There is never a trip that goes by that I don't do the People Mover at least once, sometimes 3 times based on what's going on in the family.
Hmm.
I will always do the People Mover. So I'm going People Mover on this one. The Weedway, that's my pick. Derek, Carousel versus People Mover. It was your bracket, man. You did this to yourself.
I know. Here's the thing. Even though, like, Walt loved the idea of the People Mover with his original concept of
Mhm.
Epcot. I'm still gonna go Carousel, but I will be happy to change over to People Mover because they are both they're both must do's.
Yeah.
I cannot go to the park and not do both of those. Can't
Right.
do it.
That's fair.
Right.
Totally fair.
Heather.
I am kind of on the same way that Derek is. I would be like devastated if they ever took the People Mover out,
Like
right?
Disneyland.
However,
Right.
you know me and what can get my heartstrings. And Carousel is Walt, and I can never let it not be in the park. So
Mm.
I'm saying Carousel over People Mover.
Jen.
That's
Keep
the
in
hard
mind, this one
part.
takes on whichever one takes on Haunted Mansion in the next round. So I think this is a tough battle. Either one will have a tough battle in the next round.
Oh gosh. See, it's like I was gonna go People Mover, but then that's gonna make it a tie because David also
Mhm.
did People Mover. And I'm not mad either way on this one because I love both of these so much. I will be willing to sway over to Carousel just because I literally can also not imagine not being in the parks and not being able to go. But this is gonna hurt really a lot in the next round. I'm just gonna say
See,
that.
that
like,
makes my next round easy because I'll say Haunted Mansion pretty fast when we get to it. But let's get there. So now we have our final 8. Our finals in Animal Kingdom, Flights of Passage versus Everest. In Hollywood Studios, we've got Tower of Terror versus Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. Not Rise of the Resistance, however. Didn't make it. Over in Epcot, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy and Test Track. And over in Magic Kingdom, Haunted Mansion versus the Carousel of Progress, where you're talking about the best attractions. Derek, before we knock the rest of these out, in your mind, what defines for you personally the best attraction? When you look at two attractions, you're like, well, this one's best because what does best mean for you?
It needs to tell a story. It needs to make it so you want to do it more than once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to have a thrill aspect that is enough, even though I don't have kids, is still enough for the whole family to have a thrill, but not so much that it deters any one person from doing it.
Right. Heather, what makes best for you?
I think Derek really just kind of nailed it because y'all know what my favorite attraction is. But if it comes down to like what my all-time favorite and what I think the best one that they've built in the last 10 years is, it's can I still ride it at 3 and can I still ride it at 93? Because that is what the Disney magic is. You can go with multiple generations and you're all having fun on that same attraction.
Agreed. And
Jen,
I think you have to throw, like, I agree with everything they said, but you got to throw in some nostalgia too, because I think that there is, and nostalgia can even be for newer rides, because there are people, you know, like if you look at the younger kids who their nostalgia obviously isn't as long as ours, because we're not 10 anymore. So I think all of those things have to be taken into consideration. So sometimes the technological aspects, although more impressive, might not necessarily win out over a more classic attraction.
And I think with, especially with us being big Disney fans, I think it also, history and nostalgia does play into it. Because if we were, I don't think we will anytime soon, but if we were to do a bracket about best Universal attractions, we probably would be like, which one did we have more fun on? And that's it. I mean, like that would be but with Disney, it's like, you look at nostalgia, you look at the future. You look at the Imagineering. Did Walt have his hand in it? Is it a classic ride? Is it going to become a classic ride, like like a Guardians or a Tron? Will it be a classic, in a matter of years? So I agree with that, and it's going to bring us to Expedition Everest, opened up 2007, I believe, versus Flights of Passage, which was 2017, 2018, something like that, over in Animal Kingdom. Jen, which one of these attractions is the better attraction?
This one is very difficult. I am going to say I'm going to give this to Everest because I love a real coaster. I also think that there are people who cannot do Flight of the Passage for one reason or another. So I think it's a little bit easier for everybody to enjoy Everest.
Heather?
I agree. Even though it still makes me a little queasy, like it's just one of those attractions that you're just like, oh my gosh, it's a must do in the park. And like Jen's saying, like, my sister can't do Flight of Passage. She did it once and she was like, never again. Same with my dad. He was like, I cannot do this again. But you put them on Everest, they're good,
And even though the Yeti has been broken and likely will never be fixed, I love the fact that Everest has such a lineage now with the fans that Disco Yeti is a thing. Like people, I mean, and they still make merch about the Yeti, so it's not like they're ignoring it. Disco Yeti is the thing. People know the Disco Yeti, and every now and then you'll find those people that remember the Yeti moving, which I do, and I think some of us do too. How it used to swoop down on you. I would also say Everest, but Derek, if you're going to go Flights of Passage, I'd love to hear your argument.
Yeah, Flights was my winner of the whole thing. But as I just made my last statement, I absolutely respect how Everest could beat it. I just love Flights because of what that meant to me and like the nostalgia for my family. It was the first trip that I had done in like 12 years. My wife and I it was our first trip together to Disney. We took both of our families, and it was like a month and a half after it opened. So to me, that 3.5 hour wait, that was so worth it that I got back in line, waited another 3 hours. That's where Flights gets it. But I absolutely respect Everest and Joe Rohde getting that win. So congratulations, Everest.
Everest, into our final four, our Fantasmic Four, as we would say. Tower of Terror taking on Mickey, Minnie, Runaway Railway in the Hollywood Studios finals. Heather, your thoughts on Tower versus Runaway Railway?
I love Tower, though. I love it. But if you tell me that you are going to take away Mickey and Minnie's, I probably would like protest. it's a great attraction all the way around.
Mhm.
Runaway Railway, like it tells a story. You're giggling when
Mhm.
Daisy yells conga. You're watching Chubby at the end, who looks like our friend Bridgie. It's just I'm gonna have to go with Runaway Railway. I love Tower though.
Mhm. Derek.
Rise of the Resistance.
But that lost like in the first round. I don't remember, somewhere along the way.
Not up here, it didn't. I'll be a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Okay.
Jen,
Maybe I won't be. I don't know.
Tower versus Mickey Minnie.
I'm going Tower. And because it does not necessarily go with my logic from Animal Kingdom. However, I also did say up front, Tower has to win. I would, yeah.
No.
So Tower.
I would also say Tower, and there's one reason why. Tower from start to finish. It's not a perfect ride. No ride is perfect, but it's pretty complete. My only problem with Mickey and Minnie, and I love the queue. I love the fact you don't have the 3D glasses. I love the underwater thing with the water all around. I love that. I don't get the Daisy part. I don't get the conga. I don't know why it's there. I don't know why we're doing the conga in the middle of this, running around through the streets and through the ocean and through the. I don't get it. I've never gotten it, and to me, that's my least favorite part of the ride. I don't have a least favorite part of Tower of Terror, so I'm going to say Tower of Terror. So
it's my favorite part.
Well, here it is.
Yeah.
I do get all of the stuff on Mickey and Minnie's. I think it's fun, and that's the whole thing. But since you all absolutely destroyed everything that I said with my favorite ride at that park, I'm going to say Tower of Terror now, because why not?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt me for Rise to win this entire thing, but it just didn't make it. So let's move over to Epcot. Guardians of the Galaxy versus Test Track. I felt like this was kind of a lopsided bracket on this side.
This is a little bit lopsided.
Guardians. And now we go Haunted Mansion versus Carousel of Progress. The finals in the Magic Kingdom. And had you thrown out People Mover, I likely would have picked People Mover over Haunted. But because we have Haunted versus Carousel, I'm going to say Haunted Mansion.
I had to leave a ride out of Epcot, and I forgot.
Which ride?
One?
Ratatouille.
You did leave Ratatouille.
I would have picked Guardians over Ratatouille, but I think Guardians could have made my personal Final Four in Epcot because I love Ratatouille.
Yep. That's a great ride.
So
that's a great
honorable mention.
Honorable mention. So Jen, Haunted, Carousel. You got one vote for Haunted so far.
I don't know how to choose.
I don't choose.
I don't know how to choose this one. I can't not have either of these in the park.
Well, we're not. I mean, the loser of this match doesn't get shut down or anything. It's not.
All right,
the stakes aren't that high.
They're done forever.
I'm gonna make sure that Carousel has representation, so I'm gonna give it Carousel.
Oh,
but
that's
I could be
kind
swayed.
of you.
I
That's
want to make
super
sure
kind of you.
Thank you.
The correct answer is Haunted Mansion.
But it needs to have representation, so I'm giving
agree.
Carousel representation.
I agree.
Okay.
Derek.
Well, Heather really hurt my feelings, but she brought it back on Magic Kingdom. I was really surprised. We've aligned on Magic Kingdom. Unfortunately, she's still wrong, and it's Carousel of Progress. I love Haunted Mansion. I'm sorry, Haunted Mansion, but Walt gets my vote.
Jen, what did you say?
I said Carousel.
Carousel. So we got a tie here.
We got a tie.
Okay. We have a tie. All right. So that's gonna be interesting because this is for a final four here. Let's see. I'm gonna text Kyla and see if she's
Yeah. Send her a text, not a Facebook.
So I'll send her a text. Yeah, because she'll answer text quicker because I never text anybody. So when I text you, that means something's important's going on. Hey girl, you up? Question mark. All right. So let's circle back here. Well, now we've got Everest versus Tower of Terror. What do we do?
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror. Derek.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror is in the finals. So now we got to decide what to do about Carousel versus Haunted Mansion. Because the winner of this one is going to take on Guardians for a spot in the finals. So thoughts? Anybody want to change? You want to flip around?
So say it's carousel. Can we just do a comparison here?
Okay.
As like you go through time and you're changing like how it used to be like slow and carousel. And now like when you're on Guardians and you're like spinning through like a time continuum, like where the Nova ship is jumping through time. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what Imagineering, how far it has come. Oh, I can't.
People get sick on Guardians.
People
People
do
do
get
get sick on
Everybody
Guardians.
can ride Guardians.
That is
This
true
is true.
story, which we did
This is
say
true.
does have to be a consideration and a factor.
Okay, well, here we
Mhm.
go. We're going to break the tie because I now have Kyla on the phone. Kyla, we have a quandary. You were missed today because you were the tiebreaker for some of our attraction battles here. We are talking about which attraction is better, Haunted Mansion or Carousel of Progress. I and Heather have gone Haunted Mansion. Jen and Derek have gone Carousel of Progress. So what
Vote for
say
Walt.
you?
Vote for Walt. Tell her to vote for Walt.
Man, that's so hard. I mean, you have to go with John and Carousel of Progress, I think.
Kyla, you're invited to the barbecue, sweetheart.
Jim or John?
His name is John, not Jen. It's John.
Oh, okay.
So all right, so there we go. So Carousel of Progress moves on. Taking on. Kyla? Do you have just a second?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
just a minute.
We're on the last stages here. So here we go. Let's talk now. We're going to now look at. I believe we have Guardians of the Galaxy versus Carousel of Progress for a shot at the finals. Kyla, what say you? Which one's a better attraction, Carousel of Progress or Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, I mean, in that situation, you have to go Guardians.
No.
Yeah,
She didn't hear the
I would
whole
also say
conversation.
Guardians too.
She didn't
Oh,
hear the whole
Derek, do we
conversation.
not like Kyla now, Derek?
What did everybody else say?
Well, Derek is very upset. Well, first of all, he's upset because Rise of the Resistance, like Heather, just completely just discounted the ride altogether.
He picked it to ride to go the whole
He
way.
picked it, yeah, exactly. He picked it to go all the way, and it got defeated early on. I would probably also say Guardians as well. Again, I don't do Carousel every time I go to the parks.
it's
I do
two
Guardians every
Guardians.
time I go to. I would not pay for Carousel of Progress. I pay for Guardians.
Mhm.
Pay for
So-
Carousel.
I paid for Carousel every
I'd pay
time I
for
walk into
Carousel.
that park.
Agreed.
So we have 2 votes for Guardians. Jen, your vote.
If I'm going to go with my criteria that it needs to be something that everybody can ride, then I got to go Carousel.
She's going to go Carousel. Heather, we have 2 Guardians.
If
and one
we're
Carousel.
going for that, I can't vote, you guys. I can't. Guardians is like my favorite ride of all time. I cannot.
This is really hard though, because like that criteria, like that's not the whole
Mhm.
criteria. Some
Yeah.
people can't do some things. Like
Right.
That's
Mhm.
true. I mean,
Rise-
listen,
Rise is incredible.
We didn't talk about the best attraction for families or the best attraction.
That's
We talked about
true,
the
that's
best
true.
attraction,
Okay.
whatever criteria
Mhm.
you're using, the best attraction. I think Guardians is better than Carousel by all of my own metrics. I think Guardians is. Kyla thinks it is as well, and you know that I agree with anything Kyla says. So there's that. Jen has gone Carousel. Derek has gone Carousel. So Heather, you're the tiebreaker. You are the tiebreaker now.
I was gonna say Guardians.
Well-
Kyla's right. I have to. Because
But you know what? I'm
Imagineering
okay
is
with
my
this.
life.
I am too. I'm not mad at this one.
I am not
Yes.
mad, but you
I-
know what? Like it had representation, Derek. We gave representation to
Yes.
Carousel.
Yes. Yes.
It made
And
it further
just
than I
like-
thought it would.
It's right.
We
Same.
have progressed in the carousel of Imagineering.
Yes, Carousel made
and
it a
now
lot
have
farther than I thought it
Guardians.
would.
Oh,
I
here
am
we
not
go.
mad about this.
So
at all.
we are now down to our finals.
I'm not mad.
We have Tower of Terror taking on Guardians of the Galaxy. What is the best ride at Disney World? We've
Guardians of the
eliminated
Galaxy.
62 attractions.
Simple.
We have 2 left.
Simple, because Tower of Terror was out in my second round. Guardians for the win.
So Derek is yelling Guardians for the win. Kyla, what say you? Tower of Terror versus Guardians of the Galaxy. What is the better attraction?
Oh, Guardians.
Guardians. Yeah. Kyla's gone Guardians. Jen, Tower versus Guardians. The best attraction.
You know my metric, Tower.
Tower.
I have to.
Tower.
It's my favorite.
Heather.
Guardians?
Yeah, Kyla's indignant. She's like, what?
It's
So-
like what? No, it's Guardians. It's hands down.
I know Tower's going to lose. I'm okay with
You
it.
know,
I
I'm-
just,
but
but I
we have
to
3 Guardians.
represent.
I think Guardians as well, but to be on Jen's side, so it's not a blowout, I am going to say Tower,
Okay.
just for the record. For on paper,
There
when
we
I
go.
look back
So
at
it's
this in 10
3-2.
years,
So it's
3-2, I'll say,
3-2.
oh,
Okay.
Guardians barely beat Tower. I don't know what happened, but it barely beat Tower. Kyla, that's all we needed. Thank you so much.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Perfect.
I
I'm
will
not
There we go.
mad. Guardians is a great ride. It's
Do
so
you want to
good.
know whenever David said when this episode, he was like, here's what we're going to do. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to come down to like Haunted Mansion and Guardians. And what am I going to do? And I thought about it. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, this is good. And I was like, I love my Imagineering though. Y'all know, like, and I was like, I'm going to have to pick Guardians over Haunted Mansion, but
Right. Well, and you're
So-
right, because had I seeded this different, there could have been a very different outcome.
There could have been.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's so important to realize. And like, it was fun. And I have anxiety right now and I'm a little angry, but I am also my heart is warm. So like,
Yeah.
So
it's
okay,
a
so now here's the
spectrum.
question. We have 1 and 2. Let's knock out the third place. Let's put the attraction on the bronze podium.
Okay.
Everest versus Carousel of Progress. Which attraction is better? Everest, a feat of Imagineering, a roller coaster that just about everybody can ride for the most part. Joe Rohde, now Disney legend, against Carousel of Progress. You know, a vision of Walt Disney, State Fair, blah blah blah. Which one is the better attraction? Derek, you're nodding your head like you know.
carousel.
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 I would say Carousel as well. So that's our third
Yeah.
place. So
Gotta be Carousel.
in Guardians of the Galaxy, standing strong at number 1. Number 2, Tower of Terror. Number 3 is Carousel of
Hey,
Progress.
you know what, Derek? The winner is in the best park. It's
It
in
sure
Epcot.
is.
Yes.
listen,
The
we've
real
had an
winner.
episode about this that I would
The
never
best
have to
part.
go had they flipped Tron and Guardians, and me and Brady argue about this all the time.
You do. Brady and Heather go head to head on this.
So if
Yeah.
Guardians were in
Yes.
Magic Kingdom, you'd never go to Epcot. I mean, well, I guess you
I
have
would
to get your
I
salad.
wouldn't need to.
You would
Or
need
you
to go
wouldn't
for
even
your
think it does-
salad.
Or you
the
wouldn't know
adult
about your salad because
beverages.
you never go to Epcot. So how would you even
Correct.
know?
Magic
wouldn't.
Kingdom doesn't have the adult beverages and they don't have food and wine and the
Mhm.
Festival of the Arts.
I
Boom.
don't drink.
Doesn't matter if you
Magic
don't drink,
Kingdom
'cause I
also
do.
doesn't have
Yes.
Joey Fatone and Lance Bass performing at the
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I
So-
saw Boys to Men at
Oh.
Epcot.
One time a year, you may have to go over there, get you a salad, and see some
You're
performances.
right.
You know, just
And
saying.
this year, there's a good chance I'm gonna have to message Melinda. There's a good
Mhm.
chance we could get some JC showing up, and then
What
I'll
if-
die.
What if Justin showed up because he was on a family vacation?
I don't
He
care.
just-
I'm with you.
Oh, that's right. You're out of
Forever.
Timberlake. I forgot. You're
Let Derek and Heather go on about this.
you're
They're
team
gonna
Brit
like.
Brit. I forgot. So
Yeah, Backstreet Boys, in sync.
No. Yes, they're the best. The best.
You guys have aligned on multiple
What
things.
if
See,
Debbie-
we
what if
have
Debbie
we have
Gibson
made
showed up?
up.
I could never stay mad at you.
Derek, question: Debbie Gibson or Tiffany? Without any feedback from the Peanut Gallery here.
Well, David, all I want to know, really, all that matters is that you and I have this bond, and I
Mhm.
think that we're alone now.
I'm sorry. What? I didn't hear Derek. What? What's wrong? What?
Yes.
Mm.
Oh,
Derek, I'm sorry.
yes.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, I think I accidentally muted him. My bad.
So good.
As I edit in a Debbie Gibson song, as you're like, I think, and I edit in the words Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there we have
Remember-
it. That is our bracket.
Remember
for
my,
the-
my songs that I created for the Disney Run event.
Mhm.
That's
Not
right.
Disney, not Disney, Run Disney. I can do a lot more of those.
Although I do feel like we probably could get Tiffany on this show faster than we can get Debbie Gibson because Debbie Gibson has a career still, and Tiffany's doing state fairs. So I feel like
Well,
Tiffany does not have a lot going on. So yeah,
She does
we'll have to work on
She's
that.
a chef now. She doesn't need any of that. It's an
Need your
icon.
validation.
So that is episode number 200, the bracket of the best attractions at Disney World. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun. This was a whole lot of fun having great discussions here. Derek, what's going on with you and where can we find you on the worldwide interwebs with a Z?
Mine, thederekfrank.com. I just launched my new channel. I've got some new videos coming out. It's called Let's Be Frank.
Let's be
It's
frank.
all about the things about travel that people don't necessarily want to talk about and Disney things that people really don't want to talk about and that are kind of not necessarily taboo, but being that Disney adult that also doesn't like to stand in lines for characters when you're an almost 40-year-old man that thinks that's weird. Let's be frank. That's a kid.
So is it weird when an almost 50-year-old guy does it?
You
whatever.
have a kid though. You have a kid.
I mean, he's over. Honestly, he doesn't care about characters at all. He could care less about characters. I'm like, I
David,
want to
I'm
meet
trying to help you,
Powerline.
buddy. I'm trying to help you. Oh, Powerline's a different thing. Whoa. Whoa. I'm talking.
Although I've never seen Powerline in the park. It's always Max. It's always Max, but maybe dressed as Powerline sometimes, but not.
If Powerline was in the park, I would buy a plane ticket that day and fly down there.
Yeah. If I look, sometimes I'll walk through the parks and I think to myself, if I were Heather or Emily or Jessica and I lived in this area and I came to Disney on a frequent basis with no strings attached, no whatever, like I came here on a frequent basis, what I would do. And I think one day I would do nothing but meet characters all day. That's all I would do is meet characters. How many characters do you get in one day? 27, 31, 16. I don't know, depending on the park, but I would just do characters all day just for one day. You know?
No, but let's be frank, Rock and Roller Coaster needs to become Powerline.
Oh, I agree. 1000%.
Yeah. Again, that goes back to my figment discussion. Nobody is really clamoring for people want the ride to stay, but nobody's like, we got to have Aerosmith, and nobody cares. You know,
it can change.
Anyway, Heather, where can we find you and follow you on all your lovely adventures and your salads?
The salads are epic. You can find me at the Moana Mom on Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect. Jenn, where can we follow you? And when will you be in the park? I know Heather's answer is like Tuesday or tomorrow.
I'm not
whatever,
in the parks for a bit, actually, for a few months, because I'm doing Disney Cruise Line this summer. So I've got yeah. But you can find me at Upon a Star Jen or my personal Instagram at Jen_Novotny.
Perfect. Find me on Instagram at The Magic on a Dollar. Find me on Facebook at Magic on a Dollar and Disney on a Dollar. Follow me on 1, 2, or all 3 of those platforms. I would love to get the follow and love to engage about Disney and travel and all that fun stuff. And Jenn, I will see you tomorrow. When this episode drops, I will see you tomorrow on the Freedom of the Seas.
That's right.
The cutesy little ship compared to the Icon, which is this massive, it's almost like the sun and Pluto standing next to each other. But yeah, should be fun as I'm on my first Royal Caribbean. Have you been Royal Caribbean, Jenn? Have you done Royal?
Yes, I've done.
I have not.
Several.
Looking forward to doing it. And of course, maybe next week we'll talk about Royal Caribbean. Heather will be enjoying salads at Epcot. Derek will be thawing out from the winter in Iowa. So
I'll be at Paisley Park next week, though.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome. So thank you to everybody for listening, for downloading, subscribing to the show. We don't say thank you enough because without the audience, we have no show. We've done this 200 times. We're going to keep going because one of our favorite podcasts, which just ended, stopped theirs at 235. And I'm like, we got to get to 236. We got to at least get past that far, which we will because I got nothing else going on, so I might as well podcast. So Derek, Heather, thank you for joining us. Jenn, as always, the best podcast co-host in the entire world. Thank you, Jenn, and thank you out there. Don't forget to thank, for the 200th time, thank those Phoenicians.
Thank you for listening to the Main Street Electrical Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the MSE Podcast, or visit our website at themsepodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe, and may all your wishes come true.